Welcome back, my friends, to an episode of TFT HyperRoll from Mission for Tuition. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and do all of the stuff for the YouTube algorithm. This channel is about raising money for our son's middle and high school tuition because he has to go to a ridiculously expensive special school. And we only make money from views, not by e-begging, getting donations, or anything like that. So here's the e-begging part. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's all you got to do. You don't have to give money. And with that said, let's get started. I had already gotten a couple of Hextechs out of the first couple of buys, and so then the augments come along and I see Hextech Unity, which, as I explained in my main overview video, the way this works is it will grant every champion on your team the Hextech buff, but it doesn't necessarily increase the number of Hextechs on your team, but it is still a very powerful buff for your team, especially if you're thinking of going Hextechs, which is what we're going to do here. Now, Hextechs usually grant you a really strong start, but this team we're against, well, they have an extra debonair, so they've already got a debonair. They've also got a gnar on the board, so they have 2 3 costs and a 2-star brand. But my little scrappy Hextechs are going to hang in there for as long as they possibly can, which should give you some idea of just how strong Hextechs can be early in the match. So my goal here is going to want to be faster attack, so I pick up the bow. But rather than 2-star the Jarvan at this point, I take him out so that I can put in Rek'Sai, who is also a striker. So now I have a bruiser bonus because both Rek'Sai and Sejuani are bruisers, striker bonus because Jarvan and Rek'Sai are strikers, and Hextech bonus because Sejuani and Jarvan are Hextech. Got it all covered. And remember, we picked up Hextech Unity, so keep your eye on Rek'Sai. Even though Rek'Sai is not a Hextech, Rek'Sai will keep getting the shield, and that's going to keep her alive a lot longer than she would have otherwise survived, which allows us to win this fight. And as I've said in so many of my videos, always maximize your buffs if you can. Here I put out a Caitlyn not because I needed a sniper in this situation, but she gave me an enforcer buff, which allows me to lock a champion down for a few precious moments, which gives my team a slight head start, allowing them to get into the lead and ultimately win the fight. At this point with Hextech Unity, I'm thinking about a Hextech striker team, so given these choices, I'm going to go with the bow, simply because I'm going to want attack speed later on. If I had had crit items, sparring glove, or something like that, I would have taken that, but it wasn't one of the choices. And again, watch how effective having that Hextech Unity is, because Rek'Sai could have been destroyed here when she was thrown, but she gets her shield back, is able to get back into the fight and do a ton of damage, ultimately finishing it off. For our next set of augments, we get the opportunity to completely recombobulate the team, but I'm pretty happy with them as they are. Don't need a bruiser heart, but weak spot on a Hextech striker team is going to be very effective. So that's what we're going to end up taking because it will make our strikers even stronger. Picking up a Sivir is going to allow us to take the Hextech up to the next level so we can say goodbye to Caitlyn, and we now have 4 Hextechs and 3 strikers. Now, normally I'd be looking to itemize that Sivir because picking up a 4-cost this early would be really tempting, but look how close I am on Rek'Sai. 2 more and I have a gold, so I'm holding back just to see how that turns out before I commit to going into Sivir. So I managed to get a gnar during the NPC round, which gave me the Socialite Hex, and I'm now only 1 Rek'Sai away. I pick up the tier because my new thought is to give Rek'Sai the rapid fire cannon, allowing her to stay back, and then the Spear of Sojin because her ult ultimately heals her and steals stats from the player she attacks. So it's going to weaken their team along with the weak spot and just overall make my team stronger. But the key was finding the last Rek'Sai, which was right there. With the 4 striker buff, Rek'Sai's attacks are really powerful, even though she's not officially at gold yet. She's hanging out on the bench ready to go, but you can see how strong those attacks are and how much she's leading the damage charts. And just because there's something satisfying about the moment, the formation of the gold Rek'Sai. And as I've mentioned before, Hextech Striker is very popular, so you will see a lot of matches like this where it's Hextech Striker against Hextech Striker. We just got lucky and that Gary was looking out for us and gave us the gold Rek'Sai so we could defeat them. For the final augment, I was hoping for something to slam it home like concussive blows, but no such luck. Luden's Echo would not work here. I was kind of torn between Sunfire Board and Makeshift Armor. Sunfire Board would reduce their healing, but I have a lot of champions without any items on them, so I decided to go with the Makeshift Armor and then just stack as much as I can onto Rek'Sai and give her the Warmogs just to bring up her health and make her probably unbeatable. And we will test that theory really quick against the Syndicate Sniper team with a gold 3-star Ashe who can do a lot of damage. But this is where the RFC is coming so handy. Rek'Sai is able to keep doing damage and shredding armor, stealing stats from a distance and finishing them off. And we will speed up some of these fights because you pretty much get the idea now. Rek'Sai is an unstoppable eating machine, and she is stealing their stats and just doing tons and tons of damage. The Hextech Unity is giving her and the other champions a shield and allowing us to win. In the NPC round, I was able to pick up a 2-star Irelia, so I decided to go ahead and dump Jarvan and just go with Irelia. This keeps me locked then at 4 Hextech, but that's fine. This team is doing really well, and I'd rather put more effort into Socialite since the next Hextech would have been Alistair, who was a Colossus. I go ahead and get the redemption to put on Swain just to keep him healing, and then go ahead and throw the Runin's Hurricane onto Swain because remember, I'm running Makeshift Armor, so adding an item to someone would actually reduce some of their resistances. And remember, I mentioned that Hextech Striker was a fairly popular option, and so here's another one we're facing. They have a gold Sejuani, they have a 2-star Alistair, they have a really nice Nocturne in the back with some good items. But that Rek'Sai, she's just a little too strong and healing back with every attack because that's what her ult does, plus stealing stats. So pretty much no matter what they were going to throw at me at this point, Rek'Sai was going to win it, and with that win, we are into the top 4. And I mentioned in my big overall video that pretty much any of the strikers, minus Jarvan, can carry. And let this serve as Exhibit A that Rek'Sai is 100% capable of carrying, as she simply single-handedly pretty much takes out their entire team. I went ahead and added Jinx to the team because she's going to give us both Twin Shot and Scrap, and the Scrap will give us slightly bigger shield. And I pick up the Rage Blade so that I can make her even stronger. The key is finding another Jinx that I can use my Nico's help on, and so Gary, can you help me out a little bit here? Just one more Jinx that I can possibly find in order to take her up. There she is. We don't need that Seraphine, but we do need a 2-star Jinx to finish off this team. And here again is that other Hextech Striker team who has the 3-star Sejuani, now a 3-star Swain, 2-star Sivir in the back with pretty much perfect itemization because she can shred our team. But that Hextech Unity does so much for keeping the team alive. Those little shields mean everything and allows our team to hold on and win. Now the key here was following the augments. I got that Hextech Unity, which meant I needed enough Hextechs to make it effective, but as you can see, the shield adds a little towards the end, but not a huge amount. The striker bonus ends up meaning more in winning these fights and doing enough damage to win the match. Hope you enjoyed the video and have an absolutely, absolutely awesome day.